this is IBM Museum. And wow, it even surprised me after I did the previous video on that adapted 8-bit postcode reader to the microchannel bus that I searched through my eBay listings because and I found out that I went through and I picked up another of these Micro 2000 postcards. And this, I mean, I saw the image there. I see the same 4 switch block on them on that adapter. So I want to go through and I want to do an unboxing. I've actually had this for several months set aside, unopened. So I went through and masked off the addresses, of course. Had that blue masking tape handy since I taped up the parallel port postcode reader. So let's get flipped around, and I want to go through and unbox this and even try it out a little bit. So here's the box of it, and I've of course have the system off once again. I'll go through and to trade out the boards if this effectively will work. That same setting on this other board. I just can't believe it. I mean, I'll have to look at the date on those listings to find out when I ordered these, but I found the complete version, and I think I was just went through and being a little bit proactive and ordered a second one that's different from this. Since this is where we'll get to see that PCI bus. I do have one of these already for just a straight XT. I mean, it's not adjustable on any IO ports. So here we get to see the packaging and in the anti-static bag. And it's good that I saw the picture because we'll have to look at this a little bit closer. And this is also from, okay, and it has a little bit of indication on, let me see where okay, so the marking is up there. And that's another Micro 2000 Post Pro PCI Revision C. And it's got things a little bit different. It's got even the button up here for, I think, reset or something of that nature. And you have for the PCI bus there an indication of how it goes through on the motherboard, for PCI and for the 8-bit bus. And then this has got, even on the, the 2-digit on that side with the switch block that looks, once I saw that switch block, before I was thinking, I won't even go through and unbox it because this works with PCI and the 8-bit. That's probably just default of port 80 and didn't identify that switch block enough. Then on the back side of it, so it's got even more addresses here, and it has that 680. Even has an all. I mean, it's able to decode quite a bit more with that FPGA chip that's on there. And so, wow, I've got a kind of like a triple bus. And this has got even the, figure out which way is up. It's got another, 2-character display there. Oh, okay. So button, next code, forward, backward. Oh, if you hold it down for less than a second. And if you hold it down greater than a second, change direction. Okay. So there's your voltages, indications for the LED lights and things like that. So, I mean, in fact, it'd be interesting. We've got all those positions set to up. And so that as the decoding probably of the, no, not quite the all. Oh, it's standard decoding of port 80. So this is a little bit different in the decoding of the address. So we normally go through and you notice it's 4321 in this order. Although it's both switch 1 and switch 4 that are on and 2 and 3 are off. And, we could go through and we could test that all mode as well. And of course, you notice for all those selections, switch 4 is on, except for the test listing at the bottom, 0000. And I don't know what what that does otherwise. And then we have this postcode display, first code, last code, blink equals forward, no blink equals backwards, even though I've had my camcorder. So 1 and 4 on, 2 and 3 off. I'm just so psyched because I had set this aside and I thought, well, I've got some PCI systems I can test and some systems that are on port 80 that I could use this for the 8-bit side of it. We've got that now set for the IO port 680. And we want to observe the instructions. Get it right side up. Get a focus towards nearest motherboard edge. So effectively that would be motherboard edge. I would relate that as the same as going in. They've probably got where they have the indication here. Okay. Arrow must face side back of computer. They're talking about an arrow. I'm looking to see if that arrow is underneath the capacitors or. Oh, okay. There we go. Just kind of hidden. Well, that's solder. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's hidden under the capacitor laying down. That ultimately that was the right orientation. And I realize I have both interposers now that effectively can work with. I can I can put with these boards. This is effectively the closest edge of the motherboard in this orientation. So it's good that they have that readout on this side as well. And at least have the markings, the silk screen markings for what those LEDs are there. So, I put this in a higher slot just because I can kind of look at the readouts on both sides. So yeah, it was that's kind of neat. And okay. I'm not seeing anything. I mean, this is effectively towards the closest edge towards, I don't see anything smoked or damaged otherwise, towards nearest motherboard edge. And that would be in the like the case of the IBM PC or XT, that the closest point would be that back edge. So unless this particular, really don't want to go against the instructions or anything like that. I need to try this in a PCI. And let's make sure. I mean, I see this header on here too. J2 with JP1. I mean, I had to go through and mess with the switch settings on the other one. But we didn't even see power come on this. After all that, and I'm past my return window, I mean, I could go through and I could make sure of my, okay. So it's voltages like the negative 5 volt is not on the microchannel bus. But I mean, with everything off, plugged in, I mean, I've got my, you can go through for my continuity meter. Just to make sure. Of course, everything should be. And that goes for, huh. Okay. I don't know why I get for both the 5 volt and the ground, I get continuity. Unless there's something shorted there. And ground. See, that's not ground when it's put in, notably the backwards way effectively. Yeah, we just saw no, unless it's not designed to work with, and this is PCI bus. This is not microchannel for the, I mean, it's marked on the board as PCI itself. And just unless it doesn't work with that interposer, but I would think that the the board or the system. I mean, if I'm grounding, shorting out something, or here I was, and I mean, if they're marking microchannel, they, you know, they wouldn't have had. I don't think they had any other microchannel interposer to the 8-bit, and that's the site. That was the interposer that you did was to the 8-bit, not the. There we go. Is it the switch settings or something maybe, or just I wasn't getting contact at all. I think in the bus maybe just the insertion and pulling things in and out. But we get the same sort of thing there. And 601. Why did our diskette drive? Why does it complain about our diskette drive all of a sudden? And I could have continued on easily enough. Let's see if it complains about the diskette drive again. And this is a non-functional disk drive, but it wasn't giving me an error before. Okay, so there it just gave me the 162 and 163. I realize it's kind of hard to see from the camcorder to the screen back there. But it's going through and it's giving me the codes the same way. You can see them change over. And maybe I should have gone through and cut down the light or something else of see there it's prompting me it's not able to boot, like it's not able to boot from the hard drive. So that's interesting if of why. Because it didn't give us the error for the hard drive. But that is unhappy. Is unhappy with for the diskette drive, is unhappy for the hard drive. And certainly I won't want to upset the balance in this machine. So I wonder kind of some some microchannel compatibility there for all what we're seeing from this board. And still with the hard drive. So and we didn't see with the other interposer plugged in, we didn't see the diskette drive and hard drive and things like that. I mean, I guess you could say the postcode has served its purpose. It's got us to the boot. 8602. There is some feedback that I'm getting from either this interposer or slot or something else. Let's see. I still have that A602. So as I say, may have screwed the pooch by going through 301, which is a keyboard error. So just all sorts of stuff. And I going through and probably not pulling the battery for long enough but I may have to go through and work with the configuration. Hopefully, I didn't go through and damage 8602. And we're getting all the keyboard. Um, I hope I didn't blow a keyboard fuse or. And the 8602, I'm not sure off the top of my head on that code being higher numbered as it is. Okay. So I don't know if I'm going to get that to come back. I mean, testing this board, I don't know if that had some implications to me for all that. But it'd be interesting to check that all um, switch setting as well with this. But I don't know. I think I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. I'm going to go through and probably pull the battery and check over everything. The irony being that that postcard reader gave me more errors than I started with for this implementation. So I don't know. This recommended. This not necessarily recommended for all that, for all the errors it's given me. So, yeah, wow. And if you enjoyed the video of me showing the second postcard, and in the adapter form in this case, not that parallel port. I agree, the parallel port is just a lot more simpler, but the adapter version just gives so much more information, gives voltages and other stuff, other signals on the board. And we learned that newer version, wow, just messing things up. But if you enjoyed it, go ahead and click on the like button, please. And as always, subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. But this is IBM Museum. That's all I have for now. Thank you.